Veteran broadcaster Jan Leeming has temporarily stepped away from social media after facing a wave of backlash over her criticism of ITV presenter Charlene White. The 84-year-old former BBC newsreader sparked a heated online row after describing Charlene's presenting style as condescending and saying she did not think the ITV news anchor hacks it as a newsreader. Charlene, 46, responded that she was surprised to see a presenter she had admired as a child publicly criticize her, particularly given the challenges faced by women, and black women in particular, in the broadcasting industry. The exchange then escalated when Jan claimed she believed it was now far easier for Black, Asian and minority ethnic people to progress in television. By Wednesday morning, Jan announced that she would be staying away from X for several days after receiving what she described as vile abuse. She wrote that while she accepted she had been unwise to comment publicly on Charlene's presenting style, she felt the personal attacks directed at her had gone too far. Jan later admitted, "I should have kept my thoughts to myself." The veteran broadcaster had initially taken aim at Charlene's delivery on ITV News, writing that she felt the presenter addressed viewers as if we were children. She added that she could not comment on whether Charlene was an excellent journalist, but did not believe she was particularly effective as a newsreader. Jan also compared Charlene's presenting style with that of fellow ITV News anchor Mary Nightingale, saying that emotion should be conveyed through tone rather than by heavily stressing numerous words. Charlene hit back, writing that she found the criticism very surprising coming from someone she had looked up to as a child. She said women, particularly black women, had historically had to work extremely hard to establish themselves in the industry. Jan subsequently apologized for the personal nature of her comments and insisted that her criticism of Charlene had nothing to do with color. However, she continued to argue that she believed there was now greater representation of ethnic minorities and women in television. The row comes as Jan has increasingly used social media to voice her views on the modern broadcasting industry. The former BBC presenter, who worked for the corporation between 1969 and 1987 and spent several years as a newsreader, has previously criticized what she sees as declining standards among today's television presenters. Last year, she complained about pronunciation and clarity among newsreaders, taking particular issue with what she described as mumbled speech and heavy accents. She also criticized the frequent use of the word "like" by younger people and argued that broadcasters should be taught to speak with greater clarity. Jan has never been shy about expressing strong opinions away from broadcasting either. Earlier this year, she sparked another debate after complaining about a young child crying during a meal at an upmarket restaurant. She argued that families who could afford expensive restaurants should also be able to afford a babysitter, adding that young children should be in bed in the evening. The latest controversy has nevertheless prompted Jan to temporarily retreat from social media. She made clear that she regretted publicly criticizing Charlene's style, but maintained that the abuse she subsequently received had been disproportionate.